Yeah, I just want to talk about Iran here. It looks like US is ready to go at a moment's notice. They're saying this weekend, but based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like they could be ready to go with something as soon as this evening. They're never going to say exactly when they're going to go in, so they might say this weekend to make them feel comfortable in Iran, and then launch at them tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They're not going to say exactly when. But there's at least 60 fighter jets in the region right now. Huge increase in F-15s and EA-18 fighter jets. They're at a base in Jordan. I There's satellite imagery showing anti-aircraft, anti-missile defenses positioned around the airbase in Qatar. Uh, there's at least 12 U.S. Navy ships stationed near Iran now that have been seen in the Middle East. So, yeah, and we've also got uh, the Abraham Lincoln uh, that's there in the Arabian Sea off the coast of Oman. Um, and then we've also got the let's see which is it? We've got that new aircraft carrier, the largest one in the world. That one is on its way. Lots of destroyers. There's carrier strike group is there. Two destroyers capable of carrying out long range missile strikes. Uh, Three specialist ships for combat near to the shore. They're positioned at the Bahrain Naval Station in the Gulf. Two other destroyers have been seen in the eastern Mediterranean Sea near the Suda Bay U.S. base, and one more in the Red Sea. So the assets are there, and we've also been seeing tons of cargo planes traveling back and forth, with other military equipment, ammunitions, things like that. So, and we have a bunch of refueling planes. At least I think it was at least a dozen. Um, and communications planes moving and stationed in the area. Plus, over in Europe, we have a ton of assets that just moved over there, and this can all be seen on the flight tracking data. And so, our European bases are gearing up. So, something is going to happen imminently, whether it's this weekend, next week, the week after, or tonight, or the next couple days. It's unclear, but we know Trump is considering something. We don't know if he's given the order yet. The other thing that we have seen reports on is that the nuclear bunkers in Iran, they are scrambling to fortify the doors and shore those up. They're trying to seal the bunkers off and trying to dig tunnels further down, deeper, to try and protect them from the bunker buster bombs we have. So, that's been happening too. That activity has been happening. Um, so yeah, I mean, peace talks. I don't know. You got Jared Kushner, who's an unofficial negotiator. He has no official government position. He's just the president's son-in-law, and then his real estate buddy Steve Witkoff, trying to handle very detailed, comprehensive negotiations about a nuclear program and peace, and a number of issues. And let's just be honest, these guys are not up for the challenge, and I'm not sure they actually even really want a peace deal, because I don't know how Trump and Netanyahu move forward with their Gaza plan with Iran, uh, with their leadership still in power. I don't see how they can ensure security there with that, and I think that's all part of it. And that's a whole nother subject, that whole plan and how that's going to work. But the one thing too, I've been getting so many different conflicting reports out of Iran in regards to how many civilians have been killed there, how many protesters. We've heard numbers of 2,000, 3,000, and I've seen upwards of 30,000. And you look at the numbers coming out of the region there, they're saying it is upwards of 30,000 citizens massacred in Iran. and Trump said he was going to come in. He urged them to go and uprise and overthrow the regime. They did that. He acted like he was going to be there to back them, and then he didn't. He didn't do anything. And part of that was because he didn't have all these assets in the region to be able to do anything at that time. So he shouldn't have really said any of that until he was in the position to act on it. So this is what we're dealing with here, guys. Lots of lives lost because he said he was going to back people and then just left them out to dry. It's pretty horrific. I can't even believe we're dealing with this. But yeah, I'm looking here. Yeah, engineering efforts are underway to seal the nuclear tunnel entrances at Isfahan and deep in facilities in Natanz and Parchin to insulate them from future strikes. I don't know if I'm saying these words entirely correctly. I apologize to anyone out there. Doing my best here. Um, the other thing is the solid fuel production has been kind of crippled by the United States because we've been cutting off a lot of their shipments from China for the materials they need to make these solid fuels. So the Chinese lifeline has been more or less cut off. They might have found other ways around it. We're not sure. But they have an arsenal in Iran of 2,000 ballistic missiles at least. Um, we're not sure if they have the fuel for them or not. Um, Obviously, Iran is dealing with a total economic collapse. Their currency basically dwindled to nothing. It's worthless essentially. People can't make money. Major crisis there. That's what prompted the unrest and the protests. Um, yeah, there's word that maybe North Korea, Russia are helping with technology and economic help with Iran to keep the Ayatollahs afloat right now. That's not totally confirmed, but those are things we're hearing might be happening. Um, uh, Axios has been reporting on this a lot today. They say there's 6 reasons that the U.S. and Iran are on the brink of war, and but it's the long-running nuclear dispute. It's the protester killings. It's the Chekhov's aircraft carrier. It's just the making repeated threats by Trump against the Iranian regime. He then sent 2 aircraft carriers to the region. And he's created all these huge expectations globally that he will strike Iran if he can't swiftly secure a deal on their nuclear program. There's no signs that deal is close by any means, but there are signs that war is imminent. That's all we're seeing. No signs of peace, but signs of war. And Trump's not someone to really back down unless it's regarding tariffs. Uh, Yeah, and they're saying in Axios, you typically don't move 2 aircraft carriers and hundreds of aircraft into position unless you plan to use them. Obviously, lots of pressure from Israel to go after Iran. Netanyahu's been after this, since as long as I can remember. Um, and oil plays into this because if there is a war that breaks out, prices of oil will go up. But they're saying right now domestic production is pretty good. There's a modest level of oil available right now, so the increases will be minimal. So now is a good time to strike because of that. Um, yeah, and then the other final reason would be regime weakness. Is the regime weak? Well, the public there wants change. So they rose up and the Trump administration sees that as a sign of weakness. So they might go in while they think they can capitalize on that. So um, those are the reasons Axios points out, and I would concur with all of those. Um, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, the Abraham Lincoln is there. Let's see, they did send. Try to remember the name of our largest. is it the Gerald R. Ford uh, aircraft carrier? I think that's it. I think that's the one that's being sent there right now. Um, yeah, that's the one that is the largest. So it's on its way. It could be there within a matter of a couple weeks, apparently. So they're gearing up. So I don't know if that means they might wait a couple weeks to do this or if it's more imminent. But we haven't been talking about this. Everyone's been focused on Epstein and everything. So now we're kind of having a shift and focus on this. Probably something Trump is happy about. But Epstein is not going away. We're not going to stop talking about all that. But yeah, anyone commenting on here? Let's see. Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, well, certainly in some interesting times here. Um, but if we do get in a conflict with Iran regarding this, it's not going to be like that Operation Midnight Hammer, where it was just a overnight, quick, one and done thing. This is going to be probably extensive, lasting weeks, possibly years. Who knows? Once you get into it, it's hard to say. It would probably be a joint operation with Israel. That would be expected. We're not sure if other countries would be involved in this or not, but certainly if the numbers are true that it's 30,000 civilians been killed in Iran, that's something that's going to require some sort of response, I would imagine. Um, that sort of thing really can't be tolerated anywhere. But on the flip side, we supported the actions by Israel in Gaza, and a lot of people are very unhappy with that, not supporting that. I don't think it's right. There was a response that was needed, but was it what they did? That was overboard, extreme, and it's a crisis that's still ongoing, and no one really talks about that enough. And anytime I talk about it on any other platform, my videos get held in review. They never make it out. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm just seeing if there's any other updates here. Yeah, it's let's see. I think it was CNN has a good short video that's out right now, actually showing all the aircraft they're seeing from the satellite views, showing everything there. That you can check out. But yeah, things look pretty eminent. The BBC has some pretty good, accurate reporting on this right now. Yeah, it's a Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest warship, is on its way, set to arrive in that region within. Says here within the next 3 weeks. I imagine it would be there sooner, but I don't know where it's coming from. Yeah, the amount of fighter jets we have there, it kind of gives us a sense on what this operation might involve, might be, and it looks like what they might try and do is take out the leadership. Maybe precisely try and target leadership of Iran and take them out. That might be their first set of targets, the first thing they try and do. Um, so we shall see. Um, yeah. Anyone have any comments on this? Yeah, you're welcome, Anna. Hi, Scott. Yeah, appreciate everyone joining. Um, yeah, trying to get more info on things. This situation is developing and getting updates by the hour, basically. Uh, well, I mean, we also don't know how many drones we have ready to go in this either. Now we're seeing CBS is now reporting Trump has discussed a timeline for Iran strikes, saying again as soon as this weekend. Apparently, no decision yet, but this is kind of what he said when he did the strike, the Operation Midnight Hammer there. Like I said, they're not going to say exactly when they're going to do the strikes, but he says probably soon. He kind of gives them a heads up, and then the strike happens. So we'll probably wake up one morning, or it'll be in the middle of the night. We hear that this is all happening, or could be in the afternoon. Midnight Hammer was in the afternoon. Um, it's hard to say. We'll have to keep an eye on the pizza tracker in DC. That might indicate when these are happening. Yeah, it says here Trump has not made a final decision yet about whether to strike. Um, Conversations are described as fluid and ongoing. The White House is weighing the risks of escalation and the political and military consequences of restraint. So, I mean, it's hard to negotiate a deal when you don't have any of your Joint Chiefs involved in it, and you don't have anyone from the State Department involved. And it's just this president's son-in-law who has no official government role capacity, and Steve Witkoff. Uh, how are these two supposed to negotiate this? Apparently, JD Vance has been somewhat involved, although not really directly. So I don't know. I don't know how you do this. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is planning to visit Netanyahu in about 2 weeks for further discussions. But if something happens, that could all change. Um, Caroline Levitt was saying there are many reasons and arguments that one could make for a strike against Iran, but diplomacy is always the president's first option. And Trump has even said he's come out and said he would rather come up with an agreement, come with a deal. But we don't know what all the negotiating points are. We don't know what the sticking points are, what the red lines are that either side won't cross. Like, is there any negotiating room? Um, we're not hearing what any of that is. So no problem. Hope. Um, yeah, obviously, I think peace is the most desired thing amongst all, but uh, we'll see. I mean, the way they're gearing up doesn't look like peace, but it's definitely going to affect any negotiations. If you have this huge military buildup, is that a negotiation or is it just intimidation at this point? Yeah. The Ayatollah yesterday posted an AI generated photo of the ford at the bottom of the ocean. Um, yeah, let's see, they posted the U.S. president constantly says that the U.S. has sent a warship toward Iran. Of course, a warship is a dangerous piece of military hardware. This is from the Ayatollah. He wrote this on X. And he says, however, more dangerous than that warship is the weapon that can send that warship to the bottom of the sea. That was with his image of this AI photo. Um, my understanding was they were supposed to have more talks today, but I haven't heard anything about those yet. So we'll see. They say progress has been made, like some has been made, but they're still very far apart on some issues. Well, what issues are those? They need to let us know. Like, I feel like we deserve to know. Everyone deserves that. Actually, it sounds like they did not meet today. Seeing this now, they are expected to come back in a couple of weeks. Interesting. So they're ready to. So does that mean talks are over and now Trump's maybe just going to strike? That might be what's happening. Or maybe he's moving everything there to see if they want to come talk sooner. I don't know. Yeah, Trump told Netanyahu when he just met with him recently at Mar-a-Lago that he would support Israeli strikes on Iran's ballistic missile program if a deal between Washington and Tehran could not be reached. Okay, here's something. Iran has warned pilots today to avoid the southern region of Iran on Thursday due to rocket launches. Interesting. Hmm. Well, we also aren't sure if they've been able to actually restart their nuclear enrichment program. We actually have no idea. We got several different accounts of the damage to that facility. So some saying minimal damage would be able to start right back up. Others saying it was totally destroyed, depending who you want to believe, I guess. Well, that's the update on that, and I got to talk a little bit about Epstein and what happened today in Ohio with the Democratic House members going to Les Wexner's house to hear his deposition. And, they the takeaway everyone's getting is Les Wexner said that this whole time, excuse me, neither the Department of Justice or the FBI has ever reached out to him asking about anything regarding Epstein. And that is just mind blowing because this has been going on for, decades. And there's been allegations of wrongdoing at Les Wexner's house. And they were credible. And for no authorities to question him about anything, that's just mind blowing. That is unreal. And why was there never any investigation? So, good news is there's investigations going on now. Bad news is might be too late for some of it, but yeah, there's Anna Paulina Le- Anna Paulina Luna, I think is her name. She came out today, the Republican Congress member, saying the things that she's seen represent crimes against humanity. And so they're going to do a deeper look into things. Uh, and they've unmasked some people that were redacted in the files. One is a woman who took a deal, um, and was part of the deal was that she would be considered a victim, not a co-conspirator. Uh, it's like what? Yeah, billionaire privilege. Some of this is so mind blowing. The just how the amount of money and power that Epstein wielded, like, would just get them off on all these horrible things. There are definitely two tiers of justice going on in this country. This has made it all apparent, and it has to end. Has to end. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get. I'm trying to remember the name. It's a lot today. Let's see if I can find what she said. Let's see. Let's see. I don't see where she named the person exactly. Let's see. Bear with me here. I think the investigation. Yeah, the investigations by the other government will force the issues. Yeah, I mean the French investigations. They can subpoena Trump's bank accounts in these foreign banks. Uh, so yeah, they could learn a lot.
Oh yeah. Got it. I'll get to that fast.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this. I have to go find that. I'll do some digging about what she discovered. Um,
Yeah, that's the oh, is it just he's got terrible working when you stick up here. It goes to see different like
let me see here.
on well, he said
Not seeing it. What do you guys think about Marjorie Taylor Greene's like totally about face on everything? It's pretty wild. Oh yeah, they're gonna investigate Elon. I mean, they're trying to ban his Grok chatbot and X in all these countries. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with Elon. He says Tesla is now a robotics company, not a car manufacturer. So glad I didn't get one of those. Sorry for anyone who did. Not sure what that means. Um, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Zuckerberg, he was on the stand today on this case about social media addiction, how they try and get kids addicted early on. So, I mean, from all the whistleblowers, they all say that is the entire goal. I mean, that's how they make money. They keep people addicted, they keep them on their apps, they keep selling them ads and other content, and that's how they keep making money. So, yeah, it's designed that way. So, problem with this case, if he loses this case, he'll be forced to completely change their business model. What would that be? Because right now the business model is we, the the users of Facebook and Instagram, are we are the product for the advertisers. And he needs people addicted to it, staying on. He needs to be able to sell that for the advertisers to pay to advertise on there. So where it's different, like on this app, Substack, it's you know, the we are not the product for Substack. We provide our commentary like this. We provide our perspectives, our articles, our videos, and if people want more or want to more in-depth analysis or want more connection, they can pay for the subscription. And then Substack makes a little bit of money off of each subscription. Now, with millions of them, that adds up, and that's how they make their money. They were talking about incorporating ads at some point. We'll see if they do that. It hasn't happened yet. Um, but when they do that, then we become the product. So, and this is the whole thing. Facebook early on they grappled with how do we make money off this platform, and that's what they figured out. That's how they would make money. So, but a lot of it has to do with their algorithms, like the TikTok, Instagram algorithms. They're designed to keep feeding you the stuff you tend to watch more and keep you addicted to it rather than give you a wide variety of content. They focus on things you seem to be more interested in or are related to the things you're interested in. So when you're scrolling, you're not going to see a whole lot of major diversity in the type of content being fed to you. So unless you go and seek it out and then it sees, oh, hey, because like if I'll go and, for example, I'll watch political content and then go search out like the Star Wars trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu, then all of a sudden I'll start getting Star Wars creator stuff popping in my feed, things like that. I mean, it's just how it works. But it doesn't have to be that way. It could just be totally randomized. They could change it to make it so it's less addictive. Yeah, not feeding that dopamine hit as much. So Yeah, change car to tech might give some tax relief. Could, could. Well, yeah, I agree. It's propaganda on the billionaires' platforms versus free speech and speech on other. Yeah, I mean, I've had several videos stuck at like a handful of views under review on TikTok. Everything's been fine on the other platforms. Uh, I would say maybe YouTube has a little bit of restriction that the seed audience some of the shorts go to seems to be smaller. On the same videos I'm having issues with on TikTok. So, but yeah, TikTok's definitely restraining and suppressing content. That's for sure. So, yeah, it's definitely happening. All right, guys, I gotta wrap it up here, but thank you for joining me, and I'll see you back here soon. Plan to do more lives on here. I love this app, Substack. It's been great. I love how versatile it is. Great audience on here. Thanks for interacting on this live today. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys back here for the 411.